All right, I believe we're live. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Nutrition Talk from a former fat girl. I'm a former fat girl turned certified nutrition coach, now living and promoting the low carb lifestyle. Thanks everyone for joining us. We had a couple people in the chat let us know that they'll be a couple minutes late, but I am joined by Carnivore Kipp. I'm sure most of you know him, Carnivore, Kipp, Barbecue, and Cast Iron. He's been barbecuing all day. So what's up, Kipp?
Nothing much. It's good to talk with you. But yeah, like you said, I've been smoking meat all day long, and I got up at 5 o'clock this morning and lit the pit, and it's been nonstop. So thankfully, I was able to make it into the chat like with moments to spare.
We had about like a minute and change to spare. So what did you cook up, or what do you have going?
I did briskets today. Two of them were for friends of ours, and then two of them were for awesome subscriber of my channel. Her name's
Oh,
Shelly Gordon, and like we met when I started the Carnivore Diet, and so she lives not too far away. So I threw two of them on for her, and then my
oh,
parents, they wanted me to do, because I have a huge pit, so they
yeah.
were like, throw us a couple smoked meatloafs on there. So I did those two big meatloafs, and then I also did some beef ribs that I had because I cut my own ribeyes. So I
Oh,
had, when I cut them loose from the bone, I had beef ribs left over, and I smoked the beef ribs and had those.
oh, dang, that's a lot. Yeah, no wonder why you came on with like minute to spare. I had brisket for the first time at KetoCon in April when I was in Austin. Oh my god, it was so good. Cause I'm from New Jersey, so we don't know what brisket is. But yeah, when I went to Austin, I had it for the first time. It was amazing.
Yeah, I love it. And Austin's a good city to get it. They're well known for
Oh yeah,
barbecue. I mean, all over Texas, they're very well known for barbecue.
oh yeah, 100%. What's up, Carnivore Trucker? What's up, TCAP recipes. So yeah, so this is mine and Kip's first time actually meeting. I've seen a couple of interviews that he's done because if you're in the carnivore space, we all follow the same crowd, and I'm sure he's seen me out and about. But since this is our first time chatting, why don't you tell us a little bit of your backstory? I know you dropped a ton of weight, but um, yeah, what led you to carnivore? What did that journey look like?
Well, I mean, so I'm like a lot of other people. I had dealt with obesity and being overweight for basically my whole life. You know, I tell people all the time that when I was in kindergarten, I was like over 100 pounds, and by the time I made it to middle school, I was over 300 pounds. And so,
Wow.
and then whenever I was in college, I was like, I remember weighing one time in college, and I was like 422 pounds. And so the scale kept going up, and then I got married and I put on some more of that happy marriage pounds or something.
Yeah.
And so I made
I
it.
think that happens to everyone.
Yeah. So then I found like 70 or 80 more pounds, and I was right there at 500 pounds.
Oh
I was
wow.
498 pounds was the highest at the doctor. And on my scale, the highest weight was 492 pounds. And so I was very, very close to get hitting 500 pounds. And what led me to carnivore, though, was the fact that I had tried keto multiple times, and I had talked to people like, or I had watched a lot of videos because I used to listen to Thomas DeLauer all the time,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
this channel called like Flav City or something, and a few other channels. Used to watch their channels, and then of course I found Dr. Ken Berry, and so I had watched a lot of him talking about carnivore, but I had kept putting it off. Well, fast forward to like last year, my daughter, she was born, and I was still right at 500 pounds, and everything was going good for like the first 6 months of her being alive. But then she started growing and getting bigger. And as she was getting bigger, you know, I was, of course, getting bigger too. And I was having a hard time doing the simple things. So, like, if I was rocking her in her nursery chair in her room at night, it was taking everything that I had, every bit of energy in my body to get up out of the chair to lay her down in her crib at night. And that, as a father, that's hard whenever you're thinking like you're because I was only 29 years old. I'm like, you're supposed to be like in the prime time of your life, and
Yeah.
you can't even get out of this chair with your 9-month-old daughter. And so that's kind of why I was like, I hit that breaking point, and it was right close to New Year's. And I was like, you know what? Like 2 or 3 days before New Year's, I was like, I've heard Dr. Berry talk about it, so I'm just going to give it a try. And I done it, and the rest is history. I love it, and it's just been amazing.
Dude, that's awesome. Damn, so you were, what was your highest weight? You mentioned 500, and then you said you kept getting bigger. What was your actual highest weight?
Well, every time I would, my scale stopped at 500, so I
Okay.
somewhere close to that. But every time I would go to the doctor, I would always try to diet for like 2 weeks before I went to the doctor because I didn't want the doctor to see how high the number was. And so I would always challenge myself right before a doctor's visit to do really, really good and
Yeah.
like eat lettuce or something. And and like those few pounds really made a big difference. But
Yeah.
but the highest he ever got me on his scale was 498 pounds. So I was right there, but I
Okay.
never crossed that 500-pound threshold like at the doctor's office.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, at my heaviest, so I'm 5 feet, so I was about 85 pounds overweight. I was about 200 plus pounds at my heaviest. And I was always nervous to step on the scale too. I wouldn't crash diet, but I would like hold my breath and suck in my stomach, like that would make a difference on the scale. But yeah, I would kind of do the same thing to try to manipulate the scale. So I feel you there.
I would
Um,
Yeah, I would even go so far as to like I would take my phone out of my pocket, my keys, my wallet.
your
Like
change.
I'd want to take my glasses off. If I had a hat on, I'd want to take it off because I was trying to do everything. And I wouldn't wear pants to the doctor. I would wear gym shorts because they're
Oh
lighter.
yeah. Dang. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I used to do the same exact thing. There would be times where I wouldn't actually go to the doctor because I didn't want to be weighed, because they kept wanting to put me on blood pressure meds when I was heavy. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, so I did walk out of the doctor's office with that CPAP machine. But yeah, they kept wanting to put me on blood pressure meds, and I was so determined to lose weight, even though I wasn't at the time. But yeah, I was nervous to go in because every time I went in, they tried to write me a prescription for blood pressure meds. So I would avoid the doctor like the plague. I still don't go to the doctor, and I dropped the weight.
Yeah, they always tried to get me to get on like blood pressure, which eventually I
Yeah.
did cave and get on blood pressure medicine. I was on one called HCTZ for a while, but I had done
Oh,
some more research and was talking to Sean from Intentional Carnivore, which he was
yeah.
on here with you the other day.
Yeah.
And so we were talking, and he was like, if you're gonna have to be on blood pressure medicine, there are some other forms that would be a better option than that. So I got my doctor to switch me to, I think it's lisinopril.
I've heard of
And
that one. Yeah.
I want to, the end goal is to be off of everything. And
Right.
for right now, I'm off of everything except that. But the doctor, like you, they were wanting me to take that. They were trying to shove like statins down my throat
Yeah.
for the cholesterol, and they were trying to get me to take metformin and different stuff for diabetes because I had become a diabetic. So they were just on and on and on. But like, I don't know if it's just me being a good old Southern boy or something, but I was just like, I do not need this medicine. I'm gonna be all right. But I was getting worse. And so something had to change. And I had even been talking to my wife. I was like, either I've got to either change my diet completely, or I've got to give in and start taking the medicine, because something had to give.
Yeah.
And so finally I changed my diet instead of getting on all that medicine.
So how long have you been carnivore now?
Yesterday was 6 months.
Oh, dang, dude. So how much weight have you lost?
Right at 90 pounds. I think I'm like 88 or 89 pounds. But and there were multiple times in that span that I actually cheated. There was a couple times that I cheated in that span. So I tell everybody, like, I know realistically it could have been more. I know I could have made it to 100. I could almost
Yeah.
kick myself for not hitting the 100. But I mean, I know I'm headed in the right direction. And and a lot of people have been talking to me recently that hey, don't just focus on the number, don't just focus on the number,
Yeah.
focus more on your overall health and how
Yep.
you're doing better, and the number will come in time. But yeah, and it's just been incredible.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely don't kick yourself for 100 pounds, dude. That 80 pound, dang. I mean, that's insane in a short amount of time. That's awesome. And yeah,
Yeah.
are you still, I'm assuming you were type 2?
I was type 2. Now I'm
Okay.
not even pre-diabetic anymore. I'm not
Dude,
nothing.
dude, like screw the scale. Like
Yeah.
that right there, I
Mhm.
think that outweighs, pun intended. I think that outweighs the number on the scale 100%. That's amazing, and you did it without statins or any drugs, dude. That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm not I'm thankful for it, whenever I started, and I actually got my blood work done in May. I think it was, yeah, in May, and at the middle of May, and by the middle of May I had already, just from starting the carnivore diet, cuz I had got my blood work done before that in November, and so I got it done in May, and just in that short span for those 4.5 months I went all the way down from diabetic, past pre-diabetic, and it went to 5.6, which is just below pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
So I'm still headed. I still want to get 5.6 lower than 5.6, but right now I'll definitely take it.
No, that's amazing. I did a rant on my channel earlier because I have most of my clients are obese and type 2, and I have a client who is type 2, had about 100 pounds to lose. He was at 9, his A1C was like at a 9 something, and he got it checked a week ago and it was 6.1. So we went from type 2 to pre. And even though everything's trending in the right direction, they still wanted to put him on Trulicity. So thankfully, I don't think he's taken it yet, but like that just boggles my mind because he's almost out. He almost reversed diabetes, and now you want to put him on a prescription. Like his diet's working, but he's doing. I started him on low carb, like just cutting the bun, like just eating half the bun, like doing small changes like that. And now he's pretty much less than 50 grams a day. But yeah, diet is so powerful. If you can get to carnivore, if you can get to zero, that can that can improve almost every aspect of your health doing that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's almost, and I've never said this in an interview when I was talking to anybody before, but it almost makes me wonder because, like, part of me feels like deep down, way, way like at my core, I always knew that I would figure something out to where I could
Yeah.
do it without drugs and medication. Like, because I despised having to take all that stuff, but I could never figure anything out to where my blood work would improve or my blood pressure would come down or anything
Yeah.
like that. But I was always holding on to hope that I could do it. I could do it. And then suddenly, once I tried carnivore, it just all just started falling into place. And it's just like, now I'm not looking back. I'm here to stay.
What state do you live in? You said South.
Oh yeah, you could probably pick that up. But yeah, I
Yeah.
live in Alabama. I live in way down deep South Alabama.
So you probably have good quality meat down there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
We
it's
got,
easy, right?
oh yeah, it's not hard at all. And
Yeah.
I got multiple barbecue pits, so I'm always smoking meat. I do it on the channel all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. So is your wife or your family doing it with you?
No, I wish, yeah, which she knows,
Yeah.
I wish she would try it, but she hasn't said that she would, but she has talked about trying ketovore
Okay.
because because she can't, in her mind, she can't process giving up all meat. And I told her, I was like, look, if you're willing to try ketovore, I would still be extremely happy
Yeah.
because I'm carnivore, and but I know that ketovore is great as well, and which
Yeah.
keto is too. But I don't like it whenever they do keto, and well, I don't want, maybe saying I don't like it's the wrong term, but I don't think it's the best idea to do keto with like all the different little things that come in a box. I like to see it
Yeah.
more like natural, like real foods.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm ketovore, I guess. So like I do eat very minimal. So I'll have like an avocado and berries and stuff like that. But outside of those few carbs, I am primarily steak, beef, eggs are bulk of my diet, but I will have an avocado and some blueberries and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I would be more ketovore-ish. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't gotten down to carnivore yet. I'm not sure I want to go that low. I pretty much reversed everything just doing what I'm doing, and this seems sustainable for me.
Mhm.
So far, we'll see if that changes.
Yeah, and
But
and
there
and
is,
and I don't never know, like, I mean,
yeah,
there may come a time where I'm at my goal weight and, like, I might decide that, "Hey, I wanna have a little avocado, or I wanna have a little this," and I don't think it'll be the end of the world, just like
yeah,
I don't freak out over some of the seasonings because some people, like, don't have black pepper, don't have this, don't have
oh
that,
yeah,
like, and I'm like, I still like, it's kinda hard to cook barbecue all the time and not have black pepper. Like, it's because salt and pepper is like they are perfect for barbecue. You don't need any other seasoning if you've got salt and pepper when it comes to barbecue. You can
yeah,
use other things, but it's not as necessary. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe that might happen, but I know for me right now, where I'm trying to get this weight off, I feel like if I add any little things in, sometimes I might it might slow me down more. I've even noticed for me personally, even though it's carnivore, cheese, like if
oh
I have
yeah.
cheese, it makes it where I can't hardly lose weight. And I mean, if I was, let's say I was like 175 to, well, I don't ever think I'll be that low. I think I'll probably be like 225, 250,
Oh,
somewhere in there
you
maybe.
never know. You never know, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, I just it's hard to imagine it because I haven't been that big, that small since like ever.
Yeah.
so, 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 I mean, I'll just do the best I can and get. But if I was ever at like my optimal weight, maybe I would do some things like that. But right now, I have so much to lose that I just need to like keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Like, if you have that much weight to lose, including carbs in your diet, if you can get to carnivore, that's the best way to go about it.
Mhm.
I did eat a lot of cheese when I first started. I actually this past week cut down on the cheese because I noticed when I eat cheese, my face gets puffy, like especially in my jawline. I notice like fat pockets, and then the next day it goes down. But I do notice certain foods now, um, how my body responds to those things. Like black pepper, I used to be able to eat, but now if I have black pepper, it literally makes me sneeze, and it gives me like heartburn. Cheese makes my face puffy. So it's just strange how you like take foods out of your diet and then you put them back in, and you truly know how those foods affect you. But yeah,
Mhm.
dairy bloats my face. I've noticed.
Yeah, and see, that's kinda why I'm scared to try taking black pepper out because 'cause I'm scared it might work so well that I'm like, "Man, now I gotta keep doing this because it works
Yeah.
so well," and, like,
Yep.
it's just I've whenever I came to carnivore because I come from, like, the barbecue side of things, like, I've been
Mhm.
cooking barbecue for years now, and so, like, I was always making different stuff with, like, sugary rubs and barbecue sauce and honey glazes and all this maple
Oh man,
stuff,
it's so
and
sugary. Yeah.
yeah, and everything was sugar, 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 but you still had some salt and pepper. And then once I started carnivore, I pretty much took away everything. Like 90% of the rubs that I had in my pantry, I can't
Yeah.
use them anymore. So I was stuck with just a few that I was able to still use. And it's really, really hard for me mentally to like let the black pepper go.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the only seasoning I use is literally just salt. But I'm perfectly content just using beef bone broth, like, because that is so flavorful, and just
Mhm.
a little bit of salt, because I never used to salt my food. So I don't add a lot of salt, but yeah, I don't add seasoning anymore. I used to go to town on some cumin and paprika and all that stuff, and onions, and fresh onions and peppers, and now I can't eat that stuff anymore. So I just literally just use bone broth. I'll throw some steak in the crock pot and just coat the bottom of the crock pot with bone broth. And then
Mhm.
I'll put some salt on there. It is so good and flavorful. So not a soup, just to let it soak in there. But that's all I do. I don't use spices anymore because it really does give me heartburn now.
Mhm. Yeah, I might eventually try the black pepper thing. It's just, whew, I gotta work myself up to that. I gotta work up
Yeah.
the nerve. I gotta work up the nerve to do that.
Hey
That's
man, you
like
gave
telling
up
somebody.
everything
That's like
else. You
telling
gave up
somebody that.
everything else,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. That's like telling somebody that's like loves coffee to give up their coffee tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
just
like, yeah, the coffee's the last thing people give up. Like I see people doing carnivore for a year, still struggling with giving up the coffee,
like,
which
coffee
is
didn't
fine.
bother me because I only drank coffee like once or twice a week anyway
Yeah,
before. So like the day that I started carnivore, I haven't had coffee since then. I haven't even drank it one time.
yeah.
But
So we got a question from Anthony. To lose fat, uh, should I plan my protein and fat grams for the weight I want to be, or the weight that I currently carry? So how did you do it, Kipp? How do you track your protein and fat, or how do you approach carnivore?
nah, well, I'm sure somebody that's watching this chat remembers what I was asked a similar question about tracking like a week or two ago in our live stream. And I pretty much told them that, I'm part of a Native American tribe and I have Native American heritage. And I believe in the way that my ancestors tracked their macros and all that stuff. So they track buffalo. And so I'm just going to do that tracking. I'm just going to track the food the meat and eat the meat, and I don't worry about I know you can get technical and everything, but I'm too much of a simple guy for all that.
Mm.
So I just honestly I just eat fattier cuts of meat, and I eat until I don't feel like eating. And whenever I don't feel like eating anymore, then I stop. And so far I've lost 90 pounds. Now eventually I may have to tighten it up and eat a little less, or make myself eat a little bit more. I don't know, but I haven't got to that point where I have to get or fine tune it like that yet.
Yeah, I actually saw that live. That comment cracked me up when you said when you said that. But yeah, I kind of agree. So when I coach clients on nutrition, I don't even have them track macros or calories or any of that stuff, because truly, tracking numbers is so flawed to begin with. You're not going to be accurate. You're better off just going by feel. Anthony, I don't know how you eat now or where you're coming from, but I will say, yeah, if you just focus on eating primarily, fatty cuts of meat and protein. So focus on fat first, because if you're not eating carbs, you are going to use fat for energy. Vice sugar, you're going to be a fat burner. So I would focus on fat first, then protein. And if you are including carbs, then we can talk about that. So I don't know if you're carnivore or what you're currently doing, but yeah, I don't track either. You will know if you're full. If you eat fatty cuts of meat and just primarily animal foods, you will know that you're satisfied and satiated. It's almost impossible. I don't want to say it's impossible. It's almost impossible to overeat on meat. So I just say trust your body. But if you are super nervous about that, I would just say if you are eating carbs, that's the one thing I would track, is just track your carbs and get the carbs down to as close to zero as you can. But as far as fat and protein, yeah, just go off feel. But I would focus on fat first though, and protein second. You want to make sure you're getting in enough fat, because that is what you are going to be using as your new source of energy as a fat if you're not consuming carbohydrates. So I would focus on fat first and then protein second.
And you'll know if you're getting too much fat because you'll be on the toilet.
Oh, yeah. You might get the meat sweats. So Dr. Berry has a list of the least harmful to most blood pressure meds for those who have, yeah. So I try not to be, and I know Kipp did the same thing. I try not to be on meds, because a lot of the things can be corrected through diet alone. So when the doctor tried to put me on blood pressure meds, I literally said, let me try to drop the weight, because it was 100% my weight and my diet. So that's what I did. I turned them down. And the thing is like my client, for instance, who was given a script for Trulicity, a lot of people are afraid to tell their doctor no, or to not argue but kind of push back a little bit with your doctor. So you're in 100% control of your diet, what goes of your body and your health, what goes into your body, what comes out of your body. You don't have to do anything your doctor says. You're in complete control. Now I'm not saying everyone turn down medications. I'm just saying, if you feel like you can get control over it for your body through your diet, and you want to give that a shot first, you have every right to do that. But yeah, if Dr. Berry has that list, definitely check that out to have that in your back pocket as kind of like a fallback. If you can't reverse things with your diet, you may have to go on meds. But I'm a big proponent of, you have a choice. You don't have to, even if your doctor wants you to. If you're confident you can get a hold of your diet and make a lifestyle change, I say go for it. Give it a shot. And if you can't make it happen, then sure, then maybe take the script and take the meds until you're able to get it under control. But Kipp, what do you say?
Yeah, just to go along with you, I mean, taking meds is better than like doing nothing, but at the same time, definitely try doing everything that you can do, and because there is so much. We're proof. I mean, I'm proof that type 2 diabetes is reversible, and
Mhm.
the people there's still many doctors that say that, oh, it's not, and things like that, but it actually is. And there's people think that you're still going to struggle with weight your whole life. I mean, I'm still overweight. I still weigh like 398 pounds, but I'm headed in the right direction. And there's just so many things that we have the power to fix, because I mean, all the animals in the wild, I mean, most of them, they now, some animals might have some type of disease, but they're more healthy. They eat a certain diet for that animal or whatever. But a lot of our problem is the fact that we have grocery stores on every corner, and we have if you walk in a gas station, like the first thing you see is like Reese's and like all these different things.
Yep.
And whereas animals in the wild, they don't have that. They have their food that they can hunt and eat. And that's how people were for years and years and years, but now we have all these luxuries, and we're in the worst shape we've ever been in.
Yeah, 100%. I know when I walk into my grocery store, the first thing I see, literally, like right inside the main entrance, are cookies, pies, and cakes, are baked goods. So yeah, it's terrible. And then you have fast food restaurants everywhere you turn too.
Yeah, and it upsets me the way
Yeah.
that like it like kids are set up to fail before they even understand what's going on, because whenever they're 2 and 3 years old, they're already promoting all this stuff and the sugary things for the kids. And when they're
Yeah.
watching cartoons and a commercial comes on, it might be about some candy bar or some different thing, or some different juice drink that's not even real, and it's just tons of sugar. And I'm just like, it's upsetting, because like your kid's not even at an age to understand that stuff, and it's already being shoved down their throat. And then whenever they're 25 and people are telling them they're diabetic, I'm like, well, I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah, childhood obesity and diabetes is on the rise too. It's terrible. And rather than fixing the diet, they just keep pushing these drugs on people. It's a mess. Um, but congrats, Jamie. Dang, 12.3 to 5.6 in 3 months. Holy hell. Good for you.
Wow.
And Karen said she's off blood pressure meds, causing headaches. Since I retired, my stress level has dropped, and so has my BP. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, these meds have nasty side effects too, is another thing. That's why I say diet first and meds, as a last resort, because those side effects can be worse than your symptoms a lot of times.
Yeah. And whenever I switched from that HCTZ, the blood pressure medicine, like whenever I was talking to Sean, we were talking about how it affects your testosterone, and
Yeah.
and it affects your testosterone levels. And my testosterone was a little low; it wasn't severely low, but it was also making it to where it was raising my insulin levels, and that was counterproductive of what I was trying to do, because I was trying to lower my insulin. So sometimes the effect can be things like that are just
Yeah.
adding fuel to the making it harder for you to get the results that you want.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad you recognize that too.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, Johnny Boy said 89 pounds in 6 months. Oh my God, you're an animal, Kipp. That's awesome.
Now, he hasn't seen Sean's channel yet, because Sean lost like 2 or 3 million pounds probably
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, he lost a crap ton of weight, for sure. Minimalist Carnivore, what's up? Kipp, curious if you ever did a brisket with just salt.
I haven't done a brisket with just salt, but I think I might try to make everybody happy and do it one day because I have some different salts that I use. I might do it with some of that what is it? And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but someone sent it to me in the mail and it's that Redmond's real salt, but it's not the regular, it's the smoked cherry salt.
They have
And I'm
smoked cherry
thinking
salt?
yeah, and it's good too. Even if you don't smoke meat, you can put it on there and they just smoke
What?
it in cherry wood. So it
What?
has like that smoke flavor in the salt.
Dang, that sounds good. I don't know if we have Redmond. I'm gonna have to look in our grocery store next time we go. I don't
It's
know that
not in
I've
the
seen it.
grocery store.
You
It's
get it
not
on
in the
Amazon or
you can get it on Amazon or you can buy it from Redmond's website.
got you.
But
Okay.
one of my subscribers, they bought it and sent it to me, and I've been
Nice.
using it, and so far I like it. But I mean, smoked salt doesn't beat the taste of actual smoked meat, but
Yeah.
it definitely adds a smoke component to your meat. So like if I did a hamburger in the oven and then I added some smoked salt to it, it would taste a little bit like a smoked burger, but it wouldn't
Yeah.
taste better than a real smoked burger.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you got some pits going on though, so you really don't
Oh, yeah.
need that extra salt with the cherry wood.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, because
interesting though.
I got cherry wood if I need to use it
That's what I'm
outside.
saying. You got the real thing. Johnny Boy again. I'm 5'11", 170, and I feel the power of this way of life. Hell yeah. Kipp,
That's
how
awesome.
tall are you?
Me, I'm 6'4". So
Okay.
that's kind of why I was like saying that I don't know if I'd ever get down to like below 225 or 250
Yeah.
pounds because of my height and everything and the
Yeah.
way just my frame is designed. But I mean, if I can ever just get below 300 pounds, I'm not going to be complaining. Wherever I end up is going to be miles better than where I was at because
Oh
I was
hell.
so miserable before
Yeah.
that, like, when you're that miserable, it's like you'll take anything.
Oh hell yeah. No, you'll get there. And yeah, you like a lot of people tell me I look taller on video. Like I'm literally 5 feet even, like 60 inches. You look shorter. So yeah, I wouldn't imagine that you would be 6'4", but I'm sure most people don't think I'm actually 5 foot even. I'm 3 inches taller than a legal short person.
Yeah, it's all about those
Or
camera angles. You got to know how to position that camera.
that's what I'm saying. I have to give myself a complex, make myself a little taller. Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, be sure to if you're coming here from my channel, be sure to show Kipp some love and subscribe and like this video and vice versa. Definitely help the community and help our channels grow and prosper. So yeah, definitely show us some love.
Yeah, I definitely want to tell my channel members if they're watching this video to after this video, go check out her channel and give her a sub. Y'all know I haven't had a channel for that long, and all the support has been amazing for me. So any other channel that is promoting this way of life, help them out, hers and others, because like
Yeah.
there's time where we can really use the encouragement. I've told people that like when I started the carnivore, if I'm not sure that I would have stuck with it if I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel, because there's been times where I'm just like just wanting to give up before, and because it was like hard early on and I was like, oh, should I really keep doing this?
Yeah.
But all the encouragement that I got from everybody is really helpful. So y'all definitely go support her.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. And same with me because I sometimes I want to like sometimes I still do have cravings because I'm a recovering sugar addict, I like to call myself. I literally had a sugar problem, and sometimes they creep back in where I want ice cream, but I'm like, but I have a video I'm going to record or I'm doing an interview or something, and that kind of stops me. Like YouTube has actually stopped me from going to CVS and getting a pint of ice cream because I don't want to be a hypocrite and come on here and say, yeah, I'm ketovore, I'm meat based over there while I'm eating a pint of ice cream. So it's helping to keep me honest, because sometimes I have those urges creep in, and it's like everything in me to resist and not go down that slope again. Because once I start eating that stuff, I have a hard time controlling my cravings and stuff. So YouTube has been a blessing in that respect. It's helped me, stay the course and stay honest, because I don't want to be over here promoting one thing and doing something else. So it helps me to second guess my decision.
Absolutely. And it has
Yeah.
helped me even whenever I have went as far to stumble,
Mm,
and because it hasn't been perfect for the whole 6 months, there's been a couple times where I had a slip up. And
yeah.
even in those times, because I had the channel, it helped me to be like, okay, so like you messed up today, but
Yeah.
like you got to bounce back tomorrow for you, for your family, and also for all those people that are watching you and that are supporting you. You've got to do this for everybody else as well as yourself. I know yourself is the most important,
Yeah.
but you want to be an encouragement to other people, so you got to pick yourself up, and having the channel has helped me with that.
Yeah, 100%. Minimalist carnivore again. Uh, on the spices, I quit when I was close to my optimal weight, so good on ya. Also, you might just slowly move away from spices, the old you do you thing. Yeah. I
So
cut the
they're saying, I
spices
think they're
out,
talking about eventually I might get to a point where I cut back to where I'm just
like
doing
the
salt.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would be okay with that. Like I like it doesn't sound terrible because I love salt, but but it's just right now I'm just like, man, I've quit everything. Like, I mean, do y'all want me to give up the air that I'm breathing? Like, like just right now I'm kind of in a groove, and I'm enjoying that ride. But I do think that eventually I might get to a point where I do that. I know, like some people even go as far as line diet, and that has sounded really cool to me. But like, I just want to keep riding the wave that I'm on. And then maybe later on, like I might hit this
Yeah.
stall that I can't get past this stall. And then that might be the thing that helps me break it.
Yeah, man, you're in a groove. So you said you went keto. So what was your transition like? Did you go from keto straight to carnivore on day one, or what did your transition look like?
No, well, I mean, I wasn't consistently keto. Well, I guess
Oh,
you could
okay.
say I was consistently keto. Like I would be keto one week and then not keto the next, and then keto the next week and not keto the next.
You
So I
were
was back and
okay.
forth with keto for like a long time. And so
Okay.
I was freaking my body out. My
So you
body
were
didn't know
friends with
what.
benefits. You had visitation with
Yeah,
keto.
I know
Okay.
I was freaking my body out because my body did not know what to do.
Yeah.
Because one minute I would be only eating a bunch of fat and things like that, and the next minute I was loading up on carbs. And
Yep.
so it was terrible to be going back and forth like that. And so, uh, but I will say that when I started carnivore, I think it was a little easier for me to transition because I had done keto so many times, because it didn't get me that bad. Now I got the runs, and I'm saying that on YouTube right now, but I got my stomach got tore up for a few days, but but it didn't get me that bad, and I didn't
Yeah.
even take any of the electrolytes. I mean, I had salt. I had put a bunch of salt on my food,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
didn't take magnesium or potassium or anything like
Gotcha.
that. I just kind of just went with it and went straight to meat. And there was a couple days there, but and of course you're thinking about carbs like crazy at first, but
Yeah.
then like within a week's time that pretty much faded away.
How long? So how long did it take for you to be for your cravings to go away and for you to be okay with carnivore? What was the time frame there?
I would say I kind of noticed about a weekend I was already not
Oh
thinking
wow.
about I was already thinking of not thinking about like carbs all the time. But I mean, sometimes it was probably about 2 weeks in before I got to that point where I was like, man, you can do this long term. Because when I first started, I was just telling my wife, I was like, I'm gonna do this for a month to help get me kick started on my keto journey again.
You're just
And
getting
then
started in 30 days.
yeah, I know, but that's what I was having to tell myself so that I could actually do it. Because if I told myself I had to do 90 days, I never done anything before for 90 days.
Yeah.
So, because I had always been back and forth, because I struggled with like food can be like all those different carbs and everything can be a serious addiction. And I struggled with it for so many years. So I just had to tell myself 30 days. And so like 2 weeks into the 30 days, I was like telling my wife, and she was still in that phase where she was unsure. She was like, I don't know, you're eating a lot of meat and nothing else.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird to somebody that's don't know that much about it. And
Yeah.
so within 2 weeks time, I was like, I looked at her and I was like, I might be doing this for a long time. And so And ever since then, I haven't looked back, and I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I'm not carnivore. I haven't gone that low yet, but yeah, saturated fat and red meat has been demonized for so long. I just did a live with a carnivore trucker yesterday, and I actually whipped out my nutrition textbook, and it actually did debunk saturated fat. It said we need saturated fat, we need cholesterol, whatever. But for whatever reason, dietitians are still they're taught the opposite. They're taught plant based diet. So there's a huge disconnect,
Yeah.
even within the nutrition space. But I say that because a lot of people look at us funny, because we've been told our whole lives you got to eat your fruits and vegetables, be healthy, limit your red meat, do this, do that. So that's why it's like going against what we've been told our entire lives. So yeah, there's a true fear for some people to eat a lot of beef and steaks and saturated fat.
Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
my wife has a family member that is was a nurse for like years, and she still she it worries her, and it worries her what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yep.
look, I know how I feel. I feel amazing. How often do you hear somebody that's almost 400 pounds say they feel amazing?
And
You
no, and
don't.
still like three something and no, and don't even have diabetes, right? Because that's a misconception. You're
Yeah.
obese, you have diabetes. Like,
Yeah.
shit, dude, you don't even have diabetes anymore.
I know. I mean, yes, I still have a lot of weight to lose, but already the way that I feel is
Yeah.
worth it. And besides that, I had severe shoulder pain like for like 3 or 4 years. I had like this bad shoulder pain that just I could never get it to go away, and they would prescribe me different medications and send me to orthopedic specialists and different stuff like that. And I had done physical therapy on it, and they were telling me eventually I would need a replacement. And this isn't me saying I'll never need a replacement, because I know
Yeah.
I've done a lot of damage to my shoulder. I know I still, if I move it a certain way, I can kind of feel it, the damage that's been done. But when I can sit here right now and it doesn't hurt at all. And that
Yeah.
happened within 2 weeks. Like within 2 weeks of starting carnivore, the pain that was there in my shoulder, and it was constantly there. It was like a switch got flipped, and something in the food that I was eating. I'm not sure what it was. I honestly, what I think it was all the seed oils. I think it was like the canola oil and all that stuff. Or I'm not 100% sure what it was, but I know something that I was eating when I switched to carnivore, and it could have been the same if I switched to ketovore, but something in what I was eating was causing my shoulder pain. It had to have been.
Yeah, you were inflamed. So in fat, you have omega threes, right? And
Mhm.
and of course the saturated fat, but that's anti-inflammatory. So it does help with inflammation. So naturally, you got rid of all the stuff that was causing inflammation, while at
Mhm.
the same time including foods that are good for combating inflammation. So it's 100% the fat you're eating because it's anti-inflammatory. So yeah, your inflammation's gone down. That's why you're not experiencing pain.
And that alone, if nothing else would have changed, that alone is worth it.
Yeah.
Because the pain that I was in with my shoulder, I'm telling you, like it was rough. Like, I mean, even when I would be laying in bed or sitting on a couch or whatever, it would just ache and throb. And I used to yank it so many different ways and pull it and pop it, and it was just terrible. And
Yeah.
to get that relief, that right there alone was worth it to keep doing this.
Yeah, same with me. I had two knee surgeries in the same knee and have hardware still in there. And yeah, I had arthritis, bursitis, tendon, all the itises. And I still do. I probably still do, but the pain's not there. Like it would get stiff sitting, standing. I couldn't take the stairs. Now I'm running up and down the stairs like a
Wow.
kid. But yeah, I'm sure I still have damage in there, but I'm not inflamed. So it's not causing me pain anymore. So yeah, that like you said, that alone is worth it. Like I don't have to
Mhm.
take the elevator going up 3 flights. I can actually take the stairs now and not like hobble up there or limp up the stairs.
Well, I'm not running yet. I still might take the elevator for a little while, because like
Yeah,
I still got some weight to get off of me, but I'm at least off the couch now, and I'm moving now.
that's
And
good.
like
Yeah.
I've started doing like this form of yoga not sponsored by them, but it's called like DDPY yoga, because a lot of people on my YouTube channel kept telling me about it. So I've been doing that for like the past month. But the first 5 months of losing weight was no exercise at all. It was just what I was eating, pretty
Yeah.
much did all that. And now I'm just trying to get myself moving more. And I've started doing the yoga, and I'm starting to walk a little bit. I'm still not walking like every day or every other day like I should or like I want to get to. But when I first started carnivore, I was in such bad shape that even when I tried to walk, I was like, this ain't happening. I felt like if I would have kept walking, I would have just quit and went and ate a Twinkie or something.
I mean, at least eat something better than a Twinkie. Those things are nasty. I don't know how I ate them when I was a kid. Oh my God. I tried one a few years ago, maybe longer than a few years ago, but yeah, they taste like plastic. I was like, how did I like this? It's so nasty.
I hear you.
So the Radical Healing Rebellion just started the Lion Diet today. I was nervous about giving up spices, but the meat tasted better to me with just salt. Now the coffee, on the other hand, it's gonna take a bit of time. Yeah, coffee's always last to go. But yeah, she just started the Lion Diet, so I think that was in response to you mentioned the Lion Diet might be the next step depending on your progress.
Mm-hmm. I think somebody's spamming. I don't know if it's mine or yours. It's
Where?
probably mine.
Spamming?
Somebody's spamming the live chat. I don't know.
Oh, I don't see it.
If one of my moderators in here, maybe they can see here. It's always somebody that tries to do something like this to ruin a good thing.
Oh, really? I'm just
Yeah,
trying. I'm
I've had it
scrolling
happen
through.
before. As your channel grows, you have to learn, you have to deal with this kind of stuff. It has gotten so bad before we've had to end the stream.
Oh, really? I'm expecting the negative
Yeah.
comments because I do a lot of reactions, and so far, I've only gotten maybe a handful. Living Missouri's
You
outdoor.
haven't had to deal with the spammers yet?
No, I've dealt with one or two negative-ish comments on my videos, but I mean I'm fine with that. But yeah, I haven't dealt with spammers in the chat yet, though.
Whew, be ready because they will come.
Now I'm excited.
And what they're doing is apparently they create new accounts whenever, this is what I've been told, that they create new accounts whenever you ban them. So because see, now this is coming up right here.
What?
Oh my goodness. We might just have to Carnivore Trucker, he's one of my moderators, and I think he's trying to work on it. And I just seen him come up again once I banned him, and I do apologize
Who is
for that.
it?
It's
Let me
like
see if
you
I
feel
see him.
hopeless. You feel hopeless in this situation because you start
Oh, I
banning
see
them,
it.
and then
IMMO. I
yeah,
see it now.
and there was one before that I just banned as well.
Oh, okay. So Living Missouri's outdoor. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to end this early, but it looks like it stopped.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it anymore right now. So go ahead and read that question. If it gets too out of control and we have to end it, we definitely apologize if it gets to that point, but hopefully we don't have to do that.
Yeah, I didn't scroll down that far, so I didn't see it. But yeah, thankfully it looks like it stopped, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. We don't want this to be annoying for, all of you joining our chat. We want you to hang with us and have some fun and not be annoyed to end or start your day. So yeah, Living Missouri's outdoor. New to Carnivore Diet, how many variations are there? I hear different variations. So Kipp and I are actually on two different variations of the Carnivore Diet. So you have keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion diet. So Kipp is on carnivore, I'm on ketovore. So Kipp, why don't you explain how you eat on carnivore, and then I'll explain how I eat on ketovore, so she can see it's very minimal difference, but so she can see the difference.
So for me on carnivore, I just well, there's different ways you could do it, but I mean, technically on carnivore, you could have like meat-based, anything meat-based, like
Like
any
chicken,
meat,
turkey.
chicken, turkey, bacon, whatever,
Yeah.
any kind of meat. And then you could have eggs, any kind of eggs, or you could have like butter or ghee or tallow, any kind of dairy like milk and things like that. Some people have certain types of milk, like raw milk or something. But to me, that starts getting into like sugar included in the milk or whatever. So I stay away from that. And then um some people have heavy cream. They love it in their coffee or whatever. That's what I love, the taste of it in coffee. But I was like, when I started carnivore, it's better for me not to do that because heavy cream, it's so easy to have way too much of it. Like, because like a little bit is actually a lot. So I just stay away from that. You could technically have cheeses, and I've heard a lot of people say that aged cheeses would be the best if you're gonna have cheeses. But for right now, my version is to just eat meat and and I don't necessarily just eat beef, but I would say 80 to 85% of the meat that I eat is beef. Because I crave beef the most, especially ribeyes. But who don't crave ribeyes? But
I crave brisket now.
yeah, yeah, and brisket too. I love that. And there's so many different cuts of beef that people don't even know about that are amazing cuts. And that's why I like how a lot of people talk about beef, but everybody just talks about ribeyes. But there's so many good cuts on a cow that you could
Mhm.
eat beef every day and just switch up the beef that you're eating and feel like you're eating 20 different animals because there's so many different cuts on a cow.
Yep.
And I enjoy a lot of them even before I become carnivore, just from cooking barbecue, cooking different stuff. But I would say it's 80-85% beef, and then sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of chicken, like some chicken wings. I live close to the Gulf Coast, so I go eat seafood pretty regular, maybe once or twice a month. And then, sometimes if I'm in a pinch, the one thing that I will eat that is processed is hot dogs. Like,
Okay.
if I'm traveling somewhere and I need to stop real quick at a gas station and get something quick, that's what I get is I get hot dogs. Or if I have to, I'll eat like some beef jerky, but I don't get like your name brand ones. I get brands that have like less like ingredients in
Yeah.
it that's super clean. But that's my version.
So how many? So you're 0 grams of carbs, correct?
Yeah, but whenever you get some of the hot dogs will have a few carbs in it, like 1 or 2, maybe 3
Oh
carbs.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But for the most part, you're pretty much
Yeah,
zero.
for
Okay.
outside of hot dogs, I'm 0 carbs.
Yep. And that's a difference. So I'm ketovore, which is the other version. So it's kind of like in between keto and carnivore, which is essentially less than 20 grams of carbs. So I do eat certain carbs, not a lot. Again, it's less than 20, which is not a lot. So I'll eat things like berries, avocado. Um, I did cut my dairy in half. I was consuming dairy, but it bloats me. So I think Minimalist Carnivore mentioned he gains like 5 pounds, and I have the same effect. So I do have dairy, but it's only like maybe for one meal, like a slice of cheese for one of my meals. So I cut that in half. But that's the main difference between ketovore and carnivore. Carnivore is 0 for the most part, and ketovore is less than 20 grams, and keto is less than 30 grams, I believe. So that's the main difference. And lion is is a whole thing on its own. But
Mhm.
yeah, so that's the slight variation between what Kipp's doing and what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I definitely support people that choose to do ketovore as well. Like, I don't wanna be a person that's like, "Oh, if you're not carnivore," or anything like that. Like, I support all that. Like, the whole, like, ketovore, carnivore, line diet, the whole movement, and some people just do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. The
Yeah.
whole movement, like I support all of that. What I don't support is whenever people are getting all these different treats and all this different stuff
Oh
that,
yeah.
like, is comes in a box that just because it says keto on it doesn't necessarily mean it's keto, and a lot of times it might say keto, but really Coca-Cola is behind making it, or it might say keto, but, like, Kellogg's is producing it, and, like, I really don't wanna be supporting them.
Yeah, it's all, yeah, definitely we're not dogmatic about it. I think we all promote the same message. We just go about it differently. Like, so I was a sugar addict, but having half an avocado with my breakfast doesn't affect me. So I eat the things that really don't affect me or give me adverse reactions. And I've noticed what gives me adverse reactions now, because once you eliminate a food for a while and then you reintroduce it back, you really have a true sense of how that food really truly affects you. And it's wild, how it affects you. But the thing about the keto treats is it's a marketing ploy. They'll put net carbs on the front of the box, right? But then you flip that bad boy over, you're like, holy crap, 24 carbs? I thought it was 4 carbs. So yeah, it's all a marketing. It's all a marketing ploy.
Yeah, I used to play the net carb game all the time, and now I don't have to worry about that. I just eat the meat.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna see if there's any questions.
Go
So
ahead.
the Carnivore Ketovore community on YouTube is great for accountability and to keep oneself in the right frame of mind. Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. And if anybody don't know that guy, Jason, he just started his documenting on his channel. Y'all go check out his channel as well. He's an awesome guy. Yeah, that's him right there. He just started a YouTube channel and he's documenting
Nice.
his weight loss journey. So y'all check him out too.
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely drop him a sub after this too. Yeah, and Jason,
Absolutely.
maybe you and I can set up a chat as well. Because I'm a small YouTuber too. We're all just trying to help each other grow and support each other for sure.
Absolutely.
So isn't that hypocritical that you can buy ice cream in CVS, the drugstore? Yeah, I think you made that comment on something. I saw something like that. Yeah, I made a video on this recently. Drugstore selling processed foods. Wow, yeah, it's terrible, and it's closer than the actual the drugs, like the pain relievers or whatever. Getting the candy, the chocolate, and the ice cream is easier to get because it's right up front, and the drugs in the drugstore are in the very back of the store. So you have to walk by all this garbage just to get to the medication.
But you don't have to walk far to get the cigarettes. They're right up front too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Adam Nicholas, I've been doing carnivore for 9+ months and I've lost 118 pounds. Damn, dude, congrats. And I still watch the videos and lives just for motivation and inspiration. Hell yeah, congratulations, dude.
Absolutely. When I'm having a bad day, I'll watch videos too that aren't my videos and it kind of uplift me.
Yeah, 100%. So Jamie wants to know what you're smoking tomorrow. Dude, you spent all day smoking today. Are you smoking stuff tomorrow?
No, if I had it my way, I would, but unfortunately, I ended up having to go into work tomorrow. I had something that I needed to work on at work, so otherwise, I would have just took off tomorrow. But so I'm gonna work tomorrow, but I'll be off in time to enjoy the fireworks and everything like that. I'll get off in the evening and be able to enjoy that with family and have leftovers and everything. But I did a lot of smoking today. I did briskets and then the meatloaves for my family, and then I also did beef ribs and everything. So there's plenty of food.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. If you're smoking tomorrow, damn, I'm moving down south. I'm gonna move close to you.
If I was off tomorrow, I would be smoking meat tomorrow too.
Oh, that stinks. You have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Thanks for subbing to Adam's channel. Yeah, everyone go support Adam as well.
And the carnivore trucker.
Yeah, and the carnivore trucker. Show him some love. He makes funny videos, funny intros and outros to his videos.
Yeah. I actually did a live stream with him a while back, and a lot like I grew up to like you don't cry, you be a tough guy and all that, but I was watching his intro. I didn't know anything about it until we did our live stream,
Yeah.
and he about made me tear up the way he set up the
Really?
video and everything. And it was talking about like losing weight for my daughter and all this. I was like, dude,
Aw.
man, you gonna make me cry on camera.
Oh, he did something nice for you. He had me as a State Puff Marshmallow Man, and he like
Yeah.
had me as like a badass bodybuilder, like this buff chick. Oh
Yeah.
man, you got some like teary eyed stuff. I got over here a jacked chick lifting weights in a State Puff.
He's good at that.
Yeah,
It's
he's
funny
awesome.
watching the way he does those.
Yeah, it's awesome. So Jamie again wants to know what's in your freezer.
More stuff than I can think. Like I know right now there's at least a couple racks of dino ribs in there because dino ribs is my favorite thing, period. Like if anybody asks me what is your favorite cut of meat, it's definitely dino ribs. And that comes
Interesting.
off of a cow. There's only three big bones and they're so good. There's a lot of fat in them and they're just a lot of people call it brisket on a bone. And to me, it's better than brisket. If you like brisket, you'll like dino
Mm,
ribs and they're just good. But then I got some pork belly. Uh, I might have another brisket in. I do got another brisket in there, and then
nice.
got a bunch of other different meats that like I don't know. I've got a bunch of stuff in my freezer.
Yeah. Uh, so Johnny Boy Silver, I'm getting hungry. I know, right? I tend to OMAD later in the day now. All this talk about meat. Yes, I tried. I do two mad. There are times where maybe I'll do one meal and a little snack, vice two full meals. But yeah, I haven't been able to get to OMAD yet. I'm still slowly working on increasing my fat intakes. I was low fat prior to going low carb to doing what I'm doing now because I'm in the nutrition field and that's what we're taught, right? To eat all the
Mhm.
fiber, all the fruits and veggies and carbs and limit the fat. So I was low fat. So I've only been ketovore for I think this is month 9. So I still need to get my fat a little higher. So maybe once I up my fat, maybe I'll be able to get to OMAD, but my goal is to try to get to OMAD. I haven't gotten there yet. What about you, Kipp? Are you too mad or
Oh, I'm too mad right now. I like the idea of OMAD because it
yeah,
sounds simpler. It sounds so much simpler, like
right.
to not have to worry about what I'm going to eat for lunch, especially when I'm
Exactly.
at work. I wouldn't have to meal prep for work. I could just have whatever I'm making for supper that night. But
Right.
right now, it works better for me to just do 2 meals a day and like to keep me from feeling hungry and to keep me from not thinking about things that I shouldn't be eating. So I'm just going to keep doing that for now. And we'll see what happens in the future. I'd love to do OMAD. I just hadn't got there yet.
Yeah, yeah, same with me. Um so there was if you want to take it to the next level, try ADF or OMAD carnivore. What is ADF? Do you know, Kip?
I I have no idea, but I'm gonna have to look it up after this
Yeah.
because I don't know what that is.
Yeah, if someone knows what ADF is. Jamie, what's ADF? ADF.
Yeah, where's Dr. Berry when you need
I
him?
know, right? It might be a vegan having a psychological break. The spammer. I think that's a consensus right there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the spammer in the
No,
chat
he's
anymore,
gone.
so yeah, good, good.
Oh, thanks, Minimalist Carnivore. You just subbed to Jason. Awesome. Same with Carnivore Werewolf. Carnivore Werewolf, Aaliyah, myself, and Carnivore Ron, and another person. We're doing a live stream on the 16th, I believe it is.
I need to
All
add that to my
together.
calendar. Or are y'all gonna stream on multiple channels or y'all just
Yeah,
stream it?
yeah, we're gonna stream on all of our channels. Yeah,
Okay, so then I'll definitely be able to try to tune into that and check y'all out for
yeah.
sure.
There's a new nurse who just switched to carnivore, so it's gonna be interesting getting a nurse's perspective
Does her
on.
name start with a F?
Oh,
Is it
I would
like
have to go back.
Felician or something like that?
No, she's who I called Optavia Nurse. I'm interviewing her on the 10th. That's going to be a live interview. Yeah, I thought I was going to get into an internet war, my first internet war, because I woke up. One of my subscribers went to her channel, and she was nice. She was trying to help her and said, "Go check out my video." So I woke up the next morning with a bunch of comments from her on my reactions of her full day of eating. I was like, "Oh no!" So so I read her comments thinking they were going to be nasty and we were about to get into an internet fight, but no, she said my commentary was spot on and she was actually laughing her ass off. Thank God. But yeah, I'm actually she's a good sport. She's from New Jersey too. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, she's actually coming on my channel on Monday and we're going to do a live interview. So I did 2 reaction videos of her, and she's being a good sport. And yeah, we're going to talk it out and see how she's doing now. But she just finished 2 weeks of carnivore. So she just finished week 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
So many people are jumping into carnivore. It's
I
crazy
know.
how many people are jumping into it. It's
I
cool.
know. Sean sure did roast me, man. I was good with it, but damn, man, he made me look like I was on roids.
And you had no idea until
I
the
had
chat.
no idea. I got on there and I was watching it live for the first time with everyone in the chat. I was like, what in the hell? I think he made
Oh,
himself like Mrs. Doubtfire or something. It was crazy. It was crazy. It got copyright strike though because of the Ghostbusters one, so I had to go
yeah.
back and edit that. But yeah, the Miss Doubtfire thing was good though. You should check it out. It was our live stream we did yesterday. Just watch the intro. It's freaking
Yeah.
it's funny.
I'll have to go check it out.
Said if I have Kipp on again, I'm gonna roast him. Hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I'm good with it. I don't care.
Like he's over here making you cry, and he's over here making me like state puff and roid it out.
Nah, he didn't make me cry, but he sure tried.
Thanks, Jason, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go hit up your channel and sub after the stream. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, let's definitely link up and do an interview. I'd love to have you on my channel and get to know you and chat. See if there's any questions in here. Oh, here we go. Okay, alternate day fasting.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
see some people that there's some people that are sub to my channel that do alternate day fasting, but I haven't tried it. I mean, but I mean I could see that it would work because I mean if you think back like in history there were times where people might have had to do that not because they
Right.
wanted to but because they didn't have food to eat at that time.
Yeah.
So I mean it could be good and it could be beneficial probably to help you lose weight, but like I haven't started anything like that yet.
Yeah, I don't know that I can go like a full day without eating. I think I would have to do that when my husband's traveling on work and he's not here because I might snap. I might bite his head off if he's in the
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
DC carnivore girl living in Florida. Are you actually from DC? So I'm from New Jersey, but my husband and I live in Northern Virginia, just outside of DC. So I'm not sure if DC actually means DC.
I've been up to DC area a couple times. Beautiful
Yeah,
country up there.
a beautiful country. We live about 20 miles from outside of DC, so I call it like the DC suburbs.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think when we were up there, we actually stayed in Virginia and drove
okay.
into DC. We drove into DC during the day. We stayed. I cannot remember where it was called, but it was somewhere in the mountains of Virginia or wherever. But it was like an hour and a half drive to
Oh, I
DC
was gonna
that we went
say
to.
because we're definitely not mountains. We're city. We got yeah, no, there's no mountains here. But yeah, you're probably Shenandoah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
where it was.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful out there.
Oh yeah.
So Kim, uh, have at low fat for over 40 years. It's super hard to increase my fat intake up 100%. Any suggestions? Why don't you start? Why don't you start first, Kipp? Did you have issues upping your fat intake?
No, but I've seen where a lot of people say to like if you're up in your fat, if and I'm not a scientist or anything or a doctor, so
Yeah, yeah.
don't take it like that. But they've said that like try making sure that it's not like all melted fat, like not tons of just butter
Mm-hmm.
and tallow, but more of like the actual fat that's still in its original form. Like if you're eating a fatty ribeye or things like that, because a lot of times the of course you can have the loose stool and things like that from having way too much of the butter and stuff and just not feeling good in general. But I mean, for me, it wasn't that hard to just eat fattier cuts of meat. I'm not sure what they're eating or even how long didn't say how long they've been doing carnivore. It says how or keto or whatever, but it said that they were low fat for 40 years. So
Yep.
if they're new, they may just need to give it more time
Yeah.
and just, just see how their body does. And I mean, I don't have a whole lot of other suggestions. What about you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, yeah, I don't like fat. So I like fatty cuts of meat, but my problem is I don't like the fat part of the meat. It makes me gag. It's a texture thing. Like this morning or tonight, I had beef, and I literally almost threw up from chewing on the fat. I just can't do it. Um, So for me, I'll do things like, you can't be afraid to eat. So I don't know how you're currently eating. But I totally get the 40 years of low fat because, I'm in my 40s, but up until 9 months ago, I was low fat. So I think for me, it was a fear of eating too much. So because I was still in that restriction mindset and the high carb diet mindset, I was afraid for my plate to actually have meat on it, like a lot of meat on it. So, one, I don't know if it's a fear thing for you, but for me it was. So it took me time. So I would just, for instance, I would have 2 burger patties and I will have bacon. And that would be meal one. And I find that sustains me throughout the entire day. And then when I get hungry later in the day, I'll have beef. So like if you just have just meat, mostly I stick to mostly beef. So I'll have steak, beef, eggs. That's pretty much what I limit myself to now, because I do need the higher fat content. So because that's what I'm working on. So I recommend just focusing on, like Kipp said, the fattier cuts of meat. Just stick with the beef, the steaks, and those sorts of things. And don't worry so much about your protein, because there still is protein in those foods. So it's not hard to get your protein in. It's harder to get your fat in. So I would just focus on just eating just beef and steak for now. Of course, have some eggs with it, but I would just focus on that for now to get comfortable with it. And then you can maybe add some variations, but that's what I did. And that's what I'm currently doing. I'm sticking to the beef and steaks and butter and stuff like that for now. And then once I get my fat intake up and I'm feeling confident and I'm feeling better, then I'll be able to add more variety. But I think if you just stick to specific foods, I think it might make it a little bit easier. And don't worry about your protein needs. You will 100% get your protein needs in just eating those foods. But that's what I'm currently doing. If that helps, if you have any follow-on questions or any other information that gives us a bit more clarification on how you're currently eating or how long you've been carnivore, are you carnivore? Are you kind of like in between? But that's what I would recommend. If anyone else in the chat has any recommendations, definitely drop them in the chat and help Kim out.
So it sounds like you're basically beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, except for you have some kale or something like that as well.
Oh, hell no, not kale. Yeah, no. But yeah, primarily because for me, it was a struggle getting my fat intake. And as a female, and I say this, I'm very, very big on female health and hormones for females. It's what I promote heavily on my channel because, I'm slowly entering perimenopause and of that age, but like we're more hormonal than men, right? Like we got the short end of the stick there. But we women really need to focus on fat more. So it's more important for us more so than women because of our hormonal fluctuations, because of that time of the month. Like we're losing a lot of iron during that time of the month, and our sex hormones are decreasing during that time of the month. Our blood sugar is not balanced during that time of the month. Like we have a lot of hormonal things and fluctuations throughout the month that we really need to up our fat intake to support those hormonal fluctuations. So as women, it's way more important for us to focus on fat. So that's one of the main reasons I'm really working on upping my fat intake, is because of my hormonal health. Because as a woman, if you're not feeling good, like if you're always tired, if you're groggy, if you're sluggish, if you have cravings during that time of the month, it's all a hormonal imbalance thing. So that's why I focus on those foods now, because it's helping me up my fat. It's helping me up my fat intake because I'm focusing on fat first rather than, because I've always been focused on protein up until now, because that's what's been ingrained, like protein first, protein first, protein first. So I had to reverse it to focus on fat first, because there's still protein in those foods, but it's just reversing your thinking. So that's the main reason I'm eating those foods. It's to support my hormones and just to reverse your thinking of fat first and protein. You'll naturally get your protein even by focusing on fat first, because it's not hard to get your protein needs in. You really don't need as much protein as we've been told we need. You truly don't. But you do need your fat, especially as a woman, Kim. I would definitely focus on fat first. Maybe stick to beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. What is that? The BBBE?
Yeah, that's the reason that Dr. Berry chose those exact foods,
Yep.
is because he knew that when he chose those, they were already going to be higher in fat,
Yep.
and they were also going to have the protein covered at the same time. I
Correct.
mean,
Yep.
he wasn't just naming foods that were high in fat. He knew that it would cover your bases when it comes to protein as well.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Because you only need. We're the only country, or I don't know if other countries use pounds, but most other countries use kilograms, right? So the conversion here in the United States, there's a lot of confusion there. So people say 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, but it's not per pound, it's per kilogram. So most people are really doing overkill on their protein needs. You really don't need as much protein as you think you do. You do need more fat than you're likely consuming. So BBB and E is pretty much the best way to do that, to at least get you started. Yeah, I agree.
Thankfully, I love fat. Whenever I know you were talking about like some of the fat in
I
the
can't.
food, me
Blech.
like on a ribeye, the fat is the best part.
Oh, I used to give the fat to my grandma before she died. I can't. It was like, bleh. It just makes me gag. I
That
have to
may
take it out of
change.
my mouth.
That may change over time.
I don't know. I was like gagging. I had to like pull that part out of my mouth. I was literally going in my mouth and pull it. Nope. I'm looking forward to that interview with Optavia Nurse. Oh my god. I seriously thought I was about to be in my first internet war. I was not. I was so scared when I woke up that morning. People love carnivore because meat tastes great. We're supposed to eat meat. Yep. 100%. All right. I'm just going to see if there's any other questions, because we've been at this for a little over an hour. You're going to have to take a trip up north and visit Carnivore Couple and I. We're only 2 hours apart. Could smoke some good old Nebraska beef. Huh. Where's up
that
north?
sounds like something I'd love to do. That sounds like something I'd love to do one day. I don't know if you've watched Carnivore Couple or if you've watched their channel, but
No, I've never
they
heard of
are
them.
awesome. Okay, so like I recommend a lot of channels. Theirs is definitely one that I recommend you check out. I love their channel. I love their content. They're just a great couple, and it's cool that both of them are doing carnivore together. And I noticed that he lives not too far from them. So maybe one day I can make it up that way. And
where's up that way? Where's north?
No, I think one of them live. They may both live in Nebraska, or one might live in Wisconsin. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, when you were thinking up north, I thought like I'm literally northeast. I thought you were talking north.
Well, to me
here.
It is okay. Look,
I guess that's true.
I live okay. So if I go much farther past my house, I'll run off in the ocean or run off in the Gulf. So for me, everything is like Atlanta is way north for me. You know, so like I live way down there.
That's true. I'll see you later, dude. I'll see you on the 16th on screen.
Take care, buddy.
Jason, y'all military. Yeah, man, I was 14 years in the Air Force. How about you? Were you in? How did you know I was in?
I wasn't in the military, but I do want to say thank you for your service. I've had some family members that were in the military, and we definitely got a lot to be thankful for.
Oh, thank you. What branch were they in?
Navy.
Okay. Yeah, I ended up in the Air Force because all the other recruiters were out to lunch except for the Air Force. True story. I initially went to join the Marines. There were no recruiters in the recruiter station except the Air Force, so I landed in the Air Force. Yeah, Marines was my backup. Or Navy.
My cousin, she's also one of my coworkers. Her daughter, she just got in the Air Force like a year or 2 years ago, and she finally got done with all of her training or whatever, and she just got shipped to another country like 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh,
yep,
dang.
So she's over now.
Which country? Where is she at?
I would have to. It's not like a red zone, but I cannot remember. I cannot remember what country it is right now. I'll think of it later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in Korea. I think was the only overseas location I was at while I was in.
Yeah.
So Kim responded, mainly meat with some lettuce, maybe a head a week. My dad, high cholesterol, heart disease, and the family changed to low fat. Yeah. Challenges overcoming the conditioning. Yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, I would nix the lettuce. I mean, there's really no nutrition in that anyway. Depend if especially if it's iceberg, it's mostly water. But yeah, I would stick with the meat, and I would just gradually don't do it all at once. I would gradually, depending on how much fat you're eating now or how much meat you're eating now, I would just gradually and slowly increase your meat intake over time. I wouldn't do it all at once because your body will go in shock. You have to give it time to adjust because meat, fat, and proteins take longest for your to digest. So you definitely want to get your digestive system used to breaking down that much protein and fat. So that's going to be an adjustment. So definitely adjust slowly with increasing your meat. But yeah, I would nix the lettuce. It's really not doing anything for you. And just stick with the beef and eggs if you want to have eggs. But yeah, I would definitely do it slowly though, because you don't want you're gonna have some nasty side effects if you try to do it all at once. So yeah, I would definitely slow burn the intake. Do you have anything to add to that, Kip?
Yeah, I mean, no, you pretty much covered it. But I mean, for me, I just had, I think it was kind of easy for me because with all the meat, because I was already smoking meat all the time and I was already eating tons of meat before, but
Yeah.
I was adding sugar and all that to it. So my body was like going crazy. And then now the only difference is I cut out the sugar and I cut out some of the carbs and stuff, but I'm still eating meat like I was before. I was actually eating probably similar amounts. Well, I was eating some less meat to fit in like the mac and cheese and stuff back then,
Yeah.
but I still ate a lot of meat even before. So it wasn't that big of a transition for me.
Yeah, I ate a lot of meat, but it was like lean meat, like chicken, like lean chicken breast, lean ground turkey. It wasn't beef. I had steak, like actual steak. I can count on one hand, maybe two in my entire life. I didn't eat red meat at all. Same with Kim. I just didn't eat red meat. So yeah, it was definitely a hard adjustment. But yeah, I ate meat. It was just not fat. It was just all lean. So it's definitely a mindset shift to get from lean to be comfortable with the fat.
Yeah. My wife just asked a question in the chat.
Oh, who's she?
I didn't know it's Mackenzie Moore right
Mackenzie?
there. Yeah.
Kip, do you plan on drinking bubbly again? She's trolling. But go ahead, Kip. It was a question in the chat.
Yeah, she's trolling the chat. She put me on the spot. So, so
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess the answer would be no. I'm planning to continue not drinking bubbly. So what I was doing for the month of June was I'd cut out the cheese and then I cut the bubbly because even though the bubbly is 10 times better than Coca-Cola, it still has like natural flavors in it.
Yeah.
And there's some research on natural flavors still causing your brain to think that it's having sugar, even though it's not having sugar. So I've decided for the month of June to cut out the bubbly. And so what I've actually been using is I sometimes I'll buy like a Topo Chico or a plain pure LaCroix that has nothing but carbonated water. But what
Yeah.
I've recently been doing for the month of June, and it's actually saved me some money, is somebody gave me a Soda Stream. And so you know, the little thing where people like they make their own like uh they normally use it to make like Pepsi and Coca-Cola and
Huh.
things like that, and it carbonates the water. Well,
Oh,
so I've been doing that and just making carbonated water and not putting anything in it. So I just basically it's a cheaper way of drinking the Topo
gotcha.
Chico and all that stuff, just making it yourself at home.
So it's a carbonation thing for you.
Yeah, because I love the carbonation, and well, I like Coke and Mountain Dew and all that too, but but it don't like me back. So 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 I cut all that, and then I cut the bubbly, and now I'm just because sometimes if I just drink plain water, I get bored. So when I put that little bit of carbonation in there, it just, I don't know, it spices it up some without adding a bunch of stuff to it.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, your wife's nice. She was going to go shopping for you and buy it, so that was nice.
Yeah, she was thinking about me.
Yeah. So Kim says she feels the same way about fat on meat. Yeah, it's just, the texture. Okay, so South Central Nebraska. Okay, so my husband, his headquarters is actually in Omaha, and we're going to Omaha. Well, I'm going to Omaha for the first time in October because he's going to be working at his headquarters, and I can work remotely, so I'm just going to tag along. But yeah, it's going to be my first time going to Omaha. I'm excited. Aren't they known for their steaks, Omaha steaks?
It's the number one. I think it's the number one meat producer in the world or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm excited to go to an actual steakhouse because, again, New Jersey, we're not known for meat. I'm just saying.
Look, I ain't bragging, but I ain't
Yeah.
never had a steak better in a restaurant anywhere than outside on my grill.
I mean, I can believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, like once you get that, and it's really not as hard as people think. I mean, just a couple simple ingredients and time learning when to take things off and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
really not as complicated as people make it. You can do this stuff at your house if you're willing to take just a little bit of time to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. Jason was in the Navy 9 years. My oldest daughter is a naval officer. Oh, well, thank you for your service, Jason. Yeah, the Navy was my backup. It was Marines first, and then I was going to go to the Navy because I have my uncles and my grandfather was in the Navy. I'm the only Air Force person, but yeah, the Air Force was the only one in the office, so that's how I landed in the Air Force. That wasn't the original plan. I'm happy I did though, but yeah, thanks for your service too. I landed in DC for my full-time job. My last duty station was actually in Langley, but I was already working in DC. I had to transfer from Massachusetts to Langley, Virginia. But yeah, I finished out my career in 2016 at Langley, Virginia. Dr. Greger was drinking a Bud Light. I mean, I don't doubt it. That might be why he stutters so much.
I don't even know who Dr. Gregory is. I need to
Oh,
look him up.
dude, do a YouTube search on Dr. Greger. He's a riot. He's a riot. I think Dave, No Carb Life just did a compilation. He did a bingo with one of his videos he did within the last few days. So go on Dave's channel, and he did was it Sean Baker, I think Anthony Chafee, Dr. Greger, and one other person, and it was a battle of the plant-based dieters and carnivore-based dieters, and it
Yeah.
was like bingo, and he was like, who is the most embarrassing or whatever, but it was funny. But watch that because he does a great job at Dr. Greger compilations.
Dave is hilarious too.
It's
I
funny.
like watching some of the
I'm
stuff
doing
he
a live
does.
with him next Friday, and yeah, I believe it's next Friday. Next week.
Dave's a good person. Like he actually gave me my first interview, like, and I didn't even reach
Yeah.
out to him. He was the first person to actually reach out to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't have hardly. I probably had like 20 subscribers or less,
Yeah.
and he was just like reaching out to me, and I just thought it was really cool. And he already had
Yep.
a bunch of subscribers. He didn't
He
when
had like
somebody's got that many
36,000 or something.
yeah, when
Yeah.
somebody has that maybe more than that now, but when somebody has that many subscribers, they don't really have to reach out to
Oh yeah.
that like people, especially smaller channels. And the fact that he was willing to do it was like that tells a lot about Dave.
Yeah, he did that to me too. I think I was at 33 and he reached out to me. He was my first interview too, and he's so easy to talk to, and he's so like down to earth, and he just wants to truly he would talk to anyone. He doesn't look at your channel size. But yeah, he's super cool to talk to. But yeah, we're doing him and I did a live reaction video on Abby Sharp, the registered dietitian, and we're doing another one on I believe we're doing it on Mick the Vegan Friday of next week. So he's having some fun because I do a lot of reaction videos, like not mean, just educational. So he's joining me in some reactions. So it's funny. It's funny when we go back and forth. But yeah, if you're going to be around, that's going to be a live streaming. He's going to be leading the stream.
Okay.
So carbonated water creates, which helps keep your it just makes me burp. carbonation.
It says it does what now? Carbonated water creates carbonate, which helps
Helps
keep your
keep your
gastric.
gastric juices acidic. Yeah, because your stomach is acid. It's a lot of acid. That's what aids in digestion and breaking things down. So, yeah, it just makes me burp though. I can't do a lot of carbonated drinks.
See, I love the burp. That's what I'm there for. I love that.
Oh man. Jason says Nebraska is the largest beef producing beef state in America. Hell yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, we're going in. We're going in October, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some good steak. But yeah, we've been at this for about an hour and a half. If you have any questions, any last minute alibis, drop a Q in front of it, and we'll get to them real quick. But we're definitely going to hold on. Felicia, need links so we can find you on YouTube. Ah, um, yeah. So definitely drop any questions that you have in the chat, and we'll get them. We'll get to them super quick. I just dropped my YouTube channel in the chat. But Kipp, definitely thank you for spending your Monday night with us and sharing your story. I always love doing live interviews because I just like the engagement. We get extra questions going, but I didn't know. I've seen some of your videos and your lives with Dave and Bart K and all of them, but it's nice to actually hear your story and where you came from and where you are. I mean, it's incredible. I definitely wouldn't get discouraged over the number on the scale. I mean, you're doing great. And I can't wait for you to get under 300 pounds and kind of maybe we'll do another interview once you get under 300 pounds. But yeah, no, I'm excited for your journey, dude. Like seriously, like that's incredible. So definitely thank you for sharing your story. And yeah, I'm just I just admire you for doing what you're doing because it's not easy. Like losing weight at all is not easy, and you didn't take the easy way out. You're doing it the right way. So yeah, thank you and congrats.
And I appreciate you reaching out. It's good to talk with you, and hopefully we can work something out in the schedule to talk again at some point. I had a lot of fun tonight, and definitely I'll say it again. I appreciate you for your service, and I appreciate you reaching out and talking with me. And for all the people from my channel, when this live ends, y'all go check out her channel, and don't forget to give her a sub.
Yeah, thanks, man. And yeah, same on my side for anyone watching the replay. Definitely go check out Carnivore Kipp's channel and drop him a sub as well. But thank you all for hanging with us and spending your Monday night with us. This was tons of fun. Have a good 4th of July tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to do something fun and not like Kipp and have to work. But enjoy your 4th, everyone. And thank you so much for hanging with us this evening. All right, see you later, everyone.
Happy 4th. Take care.